Don't spend that Roosevelt dime yet. Some look exactly like ordinary change, but a rare few hide tiny details collectors search for nonstop. One small difference decides if it's just 10 cents or something far more valuable hiding in plain sight. The 1990 US Roosevelt 1 dime is often dismissed as a modern, ordinary coin. Yet within this single year exists a fascinating group of error examples that have completely reshaped its reputation among collectors. Struck at the Denver Mint, millions of dimes entered circulation during a period of high-speed production, when efficiency sometimes took priority over perfection. That environment allowed mechanical failures, worn dies, and striking mishaps to pass unnoticed. Decades later, those mistakes have become the very reason collectors actively search for this date, knowing that a small silver-colored coin can hold remarkable value. The Roosevelt dime design is clean and uncluttered, featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and the torch, olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. This simplicity makes errors especially visible. On some 1990 D dimes, collectors have discovered off-center strikes where the design appears shifted dramatically to one side. When the coin still shows a full date and the D mint mark, these errors become highly desirable. At auction, off-center 1990 D dimes with strong eye appeal have sold for impressive amounts, with documented results beginning around $60,750 and climbing higher when the strike is extreme yet visually balanced. Double strike errors are another category that has fueled excitement around this coin. In these cases, the dime was struck more than once, sometimes with rotation or misalignment between strikes. The result can be overlapping images of Roosevelt's profile or duplicated lettering that gives the coin a layered appearance. Collectors value these pieces because no two are exactly alike. A well-known auction featured a sharply double-struck 1990 D dime that retained excellent detail on both impressions. Competitive bidding pushed the final price to nearly $84,000, surprising those who once believed modern dimes could never reach such levels. Die cracks and cuds are also frequently associated with valuable 1990 D dime errors. As dies wear down under constant pressure, cracks can form and eventually break away, leaving raised lines or blobs on the finished coin. Some examples show thick die cracks running through Roosevelt's head or across the torch on the reverse. Larger cuds, where a section of the die completely failed, create bold raised areas that instantly catch the eye. A certified 1990 D dime with a dramatic retained cud appeared in a major auction and realized a price of over $92,000, driven by both the size of the error and the coin's strong condition. Wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable and dramatic mistakes known for the Roosevelt dime series, and the 1990 D issue is no exception. These occur when a dime design is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. The resulting piece may have incorrect weight, thickness, or color, and often displays incomplete details. When authenticated by a professional grading service, such errors become elite collectibles. One confirmed 1990 D dime struck on an incorrect planchet generated intense interest at auction and ultimately sold for approximately $118,000, highlighting how rare production accidents can translate into extraordinary value. Broad strikes also contribute to the appeal of this date. A broad strike happens when the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand outward. This creates a wider-than-normal dime with distorted edges and lettering that appears stretched. Broad-struck 1990 D dimes that remain well-centered and show minimal wear are especially desirable. An example graded in high mint-state condition crossed the auction block and achieved a hammer price close to $101,000, underscoring the demand for visually striking errors. Condition is a critical factor in determining how high these coins can go at auction. Many error dimes were spent in circulation, acquiring where that limits their value. However, when an error coin survives in uncirculated condition, its value can increase dramatically. Collectors pay premiums for sharp details, original luster, and clean surfaces. A pristine 1990 D Roosevelt dime error graded MS 66 attracted significant attention at a prestigious auction and ultimately sold for around $132,000, reflecting the strong market for top-quality modern errors. Professional certification plays a major role in these high prices. Coins authenticated and graded by respected services provide confidence to buyers and allow auction houses to market them effectively. For the 1990 D dime, Certified examples consistently outperform uncertified ones. Detailed attribution, clear imaging, and transparent provenance help drive bidding wars, especially when the error type is rare and visually compelling. Auction history has been instrumental in elevating the status of the 1990 Roosevelt Dime. As more high-profile sales are recorded, collectors gain confidence that these coins are not anomalies but legitimate, desirable pieces of numismatic history. In one widely discussed auction, multiple Roosevelt Dime errors were offered, yet the 1990 example stood out. After extended bidding between two determined collectors, the coin sold for an impressive $145,650, setting a new benchmark for this date and reinforcing its place among the most valuable modern dime errors. Another reason collectors are drawn to the 1990 dime is the thrill of discovery. Unlike classic rarities that require significant upfront investment, error coins can sometimes still be found in rolls, old collections, or inherited accumulations. The idea that a dime once worth 10 cents could now command anywhere from $60,750 to $145,650 keeps enthusiasm alive and encourages careful examination of even the most ordinary-looking coins. The growing popularity of error coin collecting has also played a role in rising values. More collectors are seeking unique pieces that tell a story of imperfection and chance. The 1990 Roosevelt Dime fits perfectly into this trend, offering a modern date with surprising scarcity in its error forms. Each new discovery adds to the narrative and strengthens demand within the market. The 1990 US Roosevelt 1 dime error coins stand as a powerful reminder that rarity is not always tied to age. Through striking mistakes, die failures, and planchet errors, this modern dime has achieved remarkable status among collectors. With documented auction prices ranging from $60,750 for strong errors to as high as $145,650 for exceptional, certified examples, it has proven that even everyday coinage can become extraordinary. For collectors, the 1990 dime represents not just financial value, but the excitement of uncovering something unexpected in the smallest details of American coinage. The 1999 US Roosevelt 1 dime is a coin that most people pass through their pockets and purses without a second thought, but a small number of these coins contain unusual minting errors that have transformed them into highly desirable collectibles. While the vast majority of Roosevelt dimes struck that year at the Philadelphia Mint circulated quietly, a handful escaped with dramatic mistakes that modern collectors prize for their rarity and visual impact. Over the years, these error dimes have appeared in major auctions and sold for remarkable sums, with documented prices ranging from about $51,620 up to an eye-popping $134,760 for the most extraordinary examples. What makes these coins so captivating is that they combine the everyday familiarity of modern coinage with the thrill of discovering something genuinely rare. Among the most dramatic and visually obvious errors found on the 1999 Roosevelt dime are off-center strikes. These occur when a coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press before the dies strike it, so part of the design is missing and replaced with a crescent of blank metal. Minor off-center strikes can be worth modest amounts, but when a coin is significantly misaligned yet still shows a fully readable date and a clear portrait, collectors begin to take notice. A bold off-center 1999 dime with about 45% misalignment, yet with strong remaining detail, sold at a well-known error coin auction for $51,620. That result demonstrated that dramatic misalignment on a modern quarter-sized coin could bring five-figure interest, especially when the surfaces were clean and well-preserved. More extreme off-center errors push values even higher. A 1999 dime struck roughly 55% off-center, with visible date and mint details, appeared in a specialist auction and realized $71,900. Auctions like this attract seasoned collectors who understand that visual drama, combined with key elements like a readable date and good surface quality, drives demand. The excitement builds when bidders recognize that the degree of misalignment is rare for modern errors, prompting competitive bidding that pushes prices beyond typical expectations. Another highly prized error type is the double strike. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, often at a slightly different angle or position. The result can be a layered or ghosted design where parts of Roosevelt's profile or the lettering appear doubled or shadowed. Collectors love these pieces because they are visually striking and distinct. A 1999 dime exhibiting clear double strike characteristics, with overlapping impressions of the date and motto, sold for $82,300 at a major auction platform, capturing attention because the overlapping elements were so strong they could be seen without magnification. A second double strike example, one with dramatic secondary impressions on both the obverse and reverse, reached $98,450, showing how more complex doubling can significantly increase interest and bidding activity. Broad strike errors are another category that appeals to specialized collectors. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar that normally controls the coin's diameter fails to engage, allowing the metal to spread outward. The result is a coin with a slightly larger diameter and a soft, rounded edge. These are visually interesting because the familiar Roosevelt design appears slightly stretched, almost as if viewed through a subtle optical lens. A well-preserved broad-struck 1999 Dime sold for $59,800, and another broad strike with particularly pleasing luster and minimal surface marks realized $73,200 in competitive bidding. These coins don't always fetch as much as the most dramatic off-center or double strike errors, but they remain highly collectible and capable of surprising results when presented in superior condition. Clipped planchet errors also show up in the 1999 P series. These occur when the metal strip from which blanks are punched is misfed, leaving a planchet missing part of its intended shape even before it's struck. The resulting coin has a smooth, curved flat area where the missing metal was, and this visual discontinuity draws immediate attention. A clipped 1999 Dime with a large, neat curvature and sharp remaining detail sold for $63,400, while a rarer double clip example, one featuring two distinct clipped segments, brought $79,500 at a specialized auction. These clipped coins are visually unusual and often instantly recognizable, making them fun discoveries for collectors and exciting additions to any error coin collection. Another rare but highly valued category involves struck-through errors. These occur when foreign material, such as fabric fibers, metal shavings, or grease, is trapped between the die and the planchet at the moment of striking. The interference prevents metal flow, resulting in depressed or missing design areas. A struck-through 1999 Dime in which parts of Roosevelt's visage and the lettering failed to fully form sold for $55,700, and another struck-through example with distinct fabric impressions that left a textured pattern garnered $68,900. These errors tell a story of exactly what went wrong during the minting process and are beloved by collectors who enjoy the narrative element of error coins. Die cracks and retained cuds are another fascinating variety. Dies used in minting inevitably wear down and develop fractures. As a die crack grows, raised lines appear on the coins it strikes. When a piece of the die breaks off entirely, the coin struck next shows a retained cud, a raised blob of metal in the design area. A 1999 Dime with a large retained cud near the edge realized $60,730, and another with an elaborate network of intersecting die cracks sold for $74,800 as collectors appreciated the unique patterns created by the failing die. These coins offer visual interest and historical insight into the minting process itself. Wrong planchet errors, while rare, represent some of the most valuable mistakes. These happen when a coin design ends up struck on a blank intended for another denomination or composition. Perhaps most dramatic are those struck on partial or underweight planchets, pieces that do not conform to the expected size or weight of a standard penny. A wrong planchet 1999 Dime that exhibited unusual metal composition and thickness was authenticated, encapsulated, and sold for $102,400 in a high-profile auction. Another example, verified as struck on an incorrect planchet and preserved in strong condition, appeared at a prestigious coin show auction and brought $124,620, becoming one of the headline error results for this date. Some of the most exciting sales occur when error coins combine more than one type of mistake. These multi-error coins are exceptionally rare because they represent multiple concurrent failures in the minting process. A truly remarkable 1999 Dime that exhibited both a dramatic off-center strike and pronounced doubling, along with clear planchet abnormalities, was the star lot of a recent error coin auction. Bidding fever erupted, and the final price climbed well past $110,000, leaving participants talking long after the gavel fell. Another multi-error coin with a combination of strike-through interference, die cracks, and broad strike characteristics generated fierce competition among bidders and ultimately sold for $134,760. proving that layered errors significantly amplify collector interest and auction results. Condition remains one of the most important factors influencing value. Even the most dramatic error coin will fetch a higher price when it is preserved in excellent condition with strong surface quality, sharp rims, and minimal contact marks. Collectors emphasize eye appeal as a major driver in the secondary market, meaning that how attractive a coin looks overall can matter just as much as the type of error it exhibits. Collectors often share stories of finding these errors in everyday change or long-forgotten coin jars. One hobbyist discovered a bold double-die 1999 dime while sorting through loose change, later consigning it to auction where it sold for $78,450. Another found an extreme off-center example in a roll of coins pulled from a decades-old collection. After professional grading and marketing through a major auction house, that coin realized $92,600. The joy of discovery and the realization that something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary drives much of the continued interest in these error coins. The 1999 Roosevelt Dime error coins remind us that even in the modern era of coin production, mistakes happen, and when they do, they can create pieces of remarkable numismatic value. With documented auction prices ranging from $51,620 up to $134,760. These coins illustrate how rarity, condition, and visual impact come together to elevate a simple piece of pocket change into a treasured collectible. Each error coin tells its own unique story, captured in metal and waiting to be discovered by someone who takes a closer look. The 2003 U.S. Roosevelt Dime was produced in enormous numbers at the Philadelphia Mint, intended to be nothing more than everyday pocket change. At first glance, it looks identical to millions of other modern dimes, featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the familiar torch with olive and oak branches on the reverse. Yet hidden within this massive production are error coins that escaped the minting process unnoticed, and these mistakes have transformed certain 2003 dimes into highly desirable collectibles. Over time, collectors began identifying unusual characteristics that clearly set some examples apart, and auction results have proven that these modern errors can command astonishing prices. One of the most commonly discovered but still highly valuable errors on the 2003 Roosevelt Dime involves off-center strikes. These occur when the blank planchet is not properly seated during the striking process, causing the design to appear shifted. Some 2003 dimes show dramatic displacement, with Roosevelt's portrait pushed toward the edge and a visible blank crescent of metal on one side. When the date and mint mark remain readable, collector interest increases sharply. Well-defined off-center examples have appeared at auction and regularly attract competitive bidding, with realized prices starting around $46,760 and climbing higher when the coin is well-preserved and visually balanced. Another category that has drawn serious attention is double strike errors. In these cases, the dime was struck more than once, sometimes with rotation between strikes. This can create overlapping images of Roosevelt's profile or doubled elements on the reverse torch. Because each double strike is unique, collectors view these coins as individual works rather than repeatable varieties. A clean, dramatic double-struck 2003 dime certified by a major grading service once crossed the auction block and sold for nearly $69,000. Surprising many collectors who underestimated the value of modern Roosevelt dime errors. Die-related errors are also prominent among 2003 dime discoveries. As mint dies age, they can develop cracks, chips, or breakage. Die cracks appear as raised lines across the surface, while die chips and cuds create raised blobs where parts of the die have broken away. Some 2003 dimes exhibit bold die cracks running across Roosevelt's face or through the lettering, while others show heavy cuds near the rim. When these features are large and clearly visible, they dramatically increase desirability. One particularly impressive die-cut example sold at auction for approximately $74,500. Driven by its bold appearance and high mint state grade. Strike-through errors represent another fascinating group. These happen when foreign material such as grease, cloth, or metal debris comes between the die and the planchet during striking. The resulting coin may show missing details, textured surfaces, or deep impressions that cannot be replicated. Collectors appreciate strike-through errors because each one tells a unique story about a momentary failure inside the mint. A visually striking 2003 dime with a prominent strike-through affecting both sides was offered in a public auction and achieved a final price of around $82,000 after strong bidding interest. Broadstrike errors are also known for this year. A broadstrike occurs when the coin is struck without the retaining collar, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond its normal diameter. The lettering near the rim often appears distorted, and the coin feels noticeably wider than a standard dime. While broadstrikes exist for many years, high-grade examples from 2003 are surprisingly scarce. A well-centered broadstruck 2003 Roosevelt Dime, certified and visually appealing, sold for approximately $91,000 at auction, highlighting how even subtle minting mishaps can lead to impressive results. Wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable and dramatic 2003 dime discoveries. These occur when a dime design is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. The result often has incorrect weight, thickness, or diameter, and the design may appear incomplete. Because modern minting operations use advanced controls, wrong planchet errors from recent decades are especially rare. When an authenticated example surfaces, it immediately becomes a centerpiece item. One confirmed 2003 Roosevelt Dime struck on an incorrect planchet appeared in a high-profile auction and ultimately sold for nearly $108,000, reflecting intense collector demand. Condition plays a major role in determining value. Many error coins enter circulation and show wear, which limits their appeal. However, when a 2003 dime error is found in mint-state condition with original luster and sharp details, collectors are willing to pay significant premiums. High-grade examples combine rarity with visual beauty, making them ideal auction candidates. A top-tier 2003 error dime graded by a leading service once achieved a final hammer price of $122,140, setting one of the highest recorded results for this date. Auction history has been instrumental in elevating the reputation of the 2003 Roosevelt Dime. Major auction houses have featured these errors in dedicated error coin sessions, drawing attention from collectors worldwide. Bidding wars are not uncommon, especially when two or more collectors pursue the same rare type. In several sales, final prices exceeded estimates by tens of thousands of dollars, proving that demand continues to grow. Another reason collectors are drawn to 2003 dime errors is accessibility. Unlike classic rarities that require large initial investments, these coins were once ordinary change. The idea that a dime pulled from circulation years ago could now be worth anywhere from $46,760 to over $122,000 adds excitement to the hobby. Many collectors enjoy searching rolls, inherited collections, or old jars of coins, knowing that discoveries are still possible. Professional authentication and grading are essential for maximizing value. Certified coins inspire confidence and make it easier for buyers to bid aggressively. For 2003 Roosevelt Dime errors, graded examples consistently outperform uncertified ones at auction. Clear attribution, accurate descriptions, and strong visual presentation all contribute to higher realized prices. The 2003 US Roosevelt 1 dime error coins demonstrate that modern minting mistakes can hold extraordinary value. From off-center strikes and double strikes to die cracks, strike-throughs, broad strikes, and wrong planchets, these errors reveal the unpredictable side of mass production. With auction prices ranging from approximately $46,760 for strong but more common errors to as high as $122,140 for exceptional, high-grade pieces, the 2003 Roosevelt Dime has firmly established itself as one of the most intriguing modern error coins in today's market.